If I know what to do, why don't I do it? This is the title of a book my brother recommended to me recently. If I know what to do, I know the steps to do it, I know I want the change, why don't I do it? A coach is someone who sees what you don't want to see, tells you what you don't want to hear, so that you can be what you've always known that you could be. Conor here in IESE, Madrid, heading towards the visiting professors meeting room. It's Conor here in Madrid. This is the Temple of Debod, an Egyptian temple lifted up 50 years ago from Egypt as the Aswan Dam was built, and it was going to flood the area where this temple was located, and it was lifted up and gifted to the country of Spain. So here in Madrid we can come and see an Egyptian temple, 5,000-year-old Egyptian temple just here in a park on the west of Madrid. As you sit in meetings, as you listen to your friends share their New Year's resolutions, as you hear people share New Year's resolutions, before you dive into advice about how, resources, tips, what books they could read, look them in the eyes and ask them, why is it important to you? What are you willing to do to make this change? How much is this worth it to you? Because fundamentally, the block in people achieving what they need to do is not knowing what to do. It's being willing to make the commitment, to pay the price in terms of discipline to make the change. So before you give your wonderful, good, positive advice, ask them, why is it important to you? What are you going to feel like when you achieve this? What's life going to be like? How things are going to be different? And if you can help them really see that this isn't just an idea, this is something worth the short-term pain to achieve that long-term benefit, then your advice can be given. Then there's a possibility it's going to make a difference. So don't give advice until you know the person is truly committed to make this change. Commitment makes all the difference. As I'm thinking about commitment, I think about Ranulph Fiennes, and he's the oldest European to have climbed Everest. And on his first 3 attempts he failed. On his 4th attempt at 69 years old he succeeded. And he credits his success to something his wife said to him. Just before he headed out from the UK to head to Everest, his wife said to him, "Ranulph, climb it like horses." And Ranulph said, "What do you mean, climb it like horses?" I'm reminded of this story because we've got a couple of horses here in the park, and horses are different than human beings because horses, they don't have a concept of the end. They don't have a concept of the finish line. A horse runs until it cannot run. The jockey's job is to make sure that the horse has enough energy to run the length of the race. But a horse just keeps running until it can't run. The challenge with human beings is very often the thing that stops us is not the end of our physical capability, but our mind telling us to stop. A horse doesn't have this. So when Ranulph went on his final climb attempt to Everest, 69 years old, his wife told him, "Ranulph, look once at the summit and then don't look again. Ask yourself, can I take one step?" And if the answer is yes, take one step. If the answer is no, pause, rest, and ask yourself the question again, can I take one step? And Ranulph Fiennes credits his success on that 4th attempt on Everest at 69 years old because of his commitment to reach the summit and his willingness to only look at something that was always possible for his mind. He was willing to take those steps, step after step after step, never let his mind see something too big to actually achieve. And this is what we need to help ourselves and help others with when we want to make a change. To be willing to make the commitment and be willing to see what's the small step that each time I ask myself, can I do that? It's easy to do. So advice, very often, a good idea isn't as helpful as one simple little step that takes less than a minute. and helping someone understand that although it's small, that one small change day after day after day accumulates and really makes a difference. It's better to set a goal of 1 press up a day than 50 and not doing it. It's better to set a goal of leaving 1 bite, 1 mouthful left on the plate when you finish, rather than deciding to only eat half. If you can set small, tiny, achievable goals that your mind doesn't even, it feels it's easier to do it than to discuss reasons why not to do it, then you're going to begin to make change. So as we're coming up to the season of New Year's resolutions and the changes we want to make, a couple of things here. Ask, why is it important before you give any advice? And then try and look at how we take the advice and turn it into the first easy step, and how that easy step can be turned into something that becomes habitual and easily repeated. And if we can get that change, do it like the horses, 1 step at a time, commit to just a couple of things, then change starts to begin. And once change starts to begin, once you see the power of committing to some small things, you start to become hungry for keeping these habits alive in your life. David Maister says the problem with change at an individual level and at an organizational level, any worthwhile change requires pain now where the benefits only come later on in the future. A diet is pain now. The weight loss, the more energy, the better physical shape, the people noticing, the change of fat clothes down to normal clothes doesn't happen today. It happens weeks, months, years in the future. And the instinctual, reptilian, emotional human brain is not good at sacrifice now for some benefit in the future. So as you think about your New Year's resolutions, as you listen to other people tell you their New Year's resolutions, as you listen to people around you tell you what changes they're going to make, before you do anything, ask them, why is it important to you? What are you going to get? How ready are you to make the commitment steps really necessary to make this change? And David Maister says the only successful changes are where you don't commit to a temporary change in who you are. You commit to a change in the behavior, a lifestyle change. So what lifestyle changes are you willing to make in order to achieve the results that matter to you? So Conor, don't give advice unless you can see the person is willing to commit to the hard work today, tomorrow, over the short term to get the results in the medium, long term. Have a great one. So hey, this is Conor in Madrid, heading back to the hotel and then out to Iese. Thank you for your subscribes, your likes, your comments. Coming up on 200,000 subscribers on the channel now, so thank you for being part of helping get towards there. We've added almost 100,000 subscribers in this calendar year, so really great to see where these messages are reaching and some of the people that are being helped. Thank you, Barry, for coming and saying hello in the Soho house yesterday, and have a great day, have a great month, and have a great end of 2019. We'll see you again before 2020 begins. Thank you.